this scenario that is now playing out in the country, this crisis, has a political dimension.
It does, of course, it does.
But the question is, where are you looking at it from, and what conclusions are we drawing? Because in 2015, during the elections, we recall very clearly, some of us who were watching the campaign, that
yes.
the PDP made very strong allegations against the APC candidate at that time, who is now the president, Muhammadu Buhari, that he had a plan to Islamize the Federal Republic of Nigeria upon his assumption of office. Now, all of a sudden, these Fulani herdsmen are coming in. They say they're Fulani herdsmen, are coming into the country. Some of them, some people are saying they're foreign terrorist groups, depending on who you choose to believe.
Yes.
And now there is an allegation that this is linked back to a promise, an allegation that was made during the political campaigns. Now, if this is political, what is, in your view, what is the leadership behind this movement that's going on right now?
Well, let me just say one thing quickly. Since our independence, anytime we have a democratic dispensation, the Fulanis, because of the way they organize, normally cut deals with every other prominent politician who is likely to be the president of this country. That is one reason why at a point they gave Jonathan to be their own patron, something like that. They dressed him up, they gave him a certificate every person knows. Of course, Muhammadu Buhari has a very interesting distinction, which we must appreciate. First, during the PTF days, during Abacha period, you know he was in charge of the PTF. And he is the one who attempted to resuscitate the grazing reserves that were established in this country. We are just happy that Abacha died, and this plan could not sail through. But secondly, Muhammadu Buhari, who is the current president, has also championed the interest of Fulani herdsmen. At a point from a few years back, he went to Oyo, and he was trying to query the state governor then why the Fulani people were killed in Oyo State. As a statesman, he was doing that. And then currently, if he's the president, other Fulani interests have actually said that they put him there. So if this thing is happening, and he is not in a position. Let me just make this point,
sorry,
please,
Professor,
please. Let me just make this point quickly.
I'm afraid
quickly.
I have to interrupt you,
okay,
Professor, because some of the things that you have said, we are all here in this country. You also have to be very circumspect, the things that we're saying. When we talk about empirical evidence, when you say that a group of people put the president there.
Well, they claim so.
They claim so. But you were in this.
So.
I want to believe that you're not stranger to this country.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been in Ahmadu Bello University. The president has contested a number of times.
Yes.
And it was at this last time that he won.
Yes.
And it was through elections that were said to be credible. So when you say that a group of people put the president there, should we really be going with insinuations like that?
No, well, the insinuations, if a president comes, this herdsman crisis is actually threatening the future of this country. And tell me just one single thing which this president has said, which will convince every Nigerian that he takes the lives of Nigerians as a priority. This is a president, immediately he came into power, some northern governors saw him and put pressure on him about cattle rustling. And you know what the president did? He put on his camouflage, he went to Zamfara, he launched a military exercise to contain cattle rustling.
Just wondering, now that you've just mentioned cattle rustling, who are those people rustling cattle here in Nigeria? If the Fulanis, the local Fulanis have been affected, their cattle being stolen, we've seen many operations, even in Kano, of thousands of cattle being recovered from those who are rustling cattle. How can you then say that the same Fulani people are inviting other Fulani people from other ethnic nationalities to take over land here in Nigeria?
Look, I think it is important for you not only to be in this studio. The person who is the king of rustlers is in a forest in Zamfara. He calls himself Buhari Ndaji. He calls himself Buhari Ndaji. And every person knows.
And
people in government.
Is of what ethnic group? That's
he is Fulani. He is Fulani.
So why is he then rustling the cattle of fellow Fulanis?
They are using that as an excuse to attack other people. We are dealing with people who are strategizing. We are dealing with people who are master strategists. They are just using this as excuses.
Professor, you know, this morning there has been some specificity now attached to the notion that foreigners have invaded Nigeria.
Yes.
Now, they have now specifically stated it is Islamic State, according to security reports. In your view, is this something that has multiple strands, or is it just very kind of single-stranded when you talk about the factors that have come together? When you talk about the forces that have come in purportedly into Nigeria to create this kind of mayhem?
Well, I have made my point. I'm not a security person. I'm just a teacher. But the truth of the matter is that this thing has been going on consistently for several years. It is just very sad and unfortunate, but that's how Nigeria works. That the security people will be coming out belatedly when the attention of every person is being drawn to this fact, and every person is becoming quite clear on the fact that if we are not careful, this will lead to the destruction of this country. The point I'm making is that even in the past, we knew that the people who were coming in were foreigners. They were foreign elements. But you see, the interesting thing is that if you come from outside, and then you go deep into the country, like to a place like Benue, it means that there are local people supporting you. And we know that the people who have been attacking Benue have been attacking Benue from the state that is neighboring to Benue. They come in and they attack Benue through Awe and through Doma.
Professor, if we agree that these terrorist incidents are as a result of the movement of these people permeating through the country, does it not, just by logic, does it not make sense to create settlements where these people would have to be contained, essentially, in various states through this cattle colony approach?
No. The cattle colony is just rubbish. It's extremely rubbish. What we have done in Benue, and people, we are in Benue, so we support what has been done. If you want to produce livestock, keep them in ranches. That is the way to go. The Fulani cow, we eat it just because we have no choice. Otherwise, the meat is not good. Because you can't take a cow from outside the country, you trek with a cow to Lagos, to Port Harcourt, and expect quality meat. You can't do that. You cannot expect quality milk and other dairy products from that type of cow. You have to ranch a cow. If you ranch a cow, then you can provide good feeding for the cow. You can also provide good health facilities for the cow. So the way to go is just to do ranching.